In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I built my entire WWE action figure arena. So today, man, I'm going to be taking you through every aspect of this WWE action figure arena and breaking down all of the details and how we brought it to life right here. And there's a lot of parts to it, and obviously yours doesn't have to be as crazy as this one, or you could make a smaller one, or whatever the case is, obviously. But a lot of people like to put theirs on the ground, or a lot of people, you may not have a table big enough because these rings are so big. I talk about it all the time, and these rings, and they have to be big, obviously, because the damn figures are big, right? I mean, Mattel scale is not even 1/12 scale. That's like 6 inches, Marvel Legends, stuff like that. Mattel scale is more like 111, 110, to be honest with you. The figures are pretty damn big. I mean, especially when you get into the Ultimate Editions, and that's why I like this specific ring right here. You could get the main event rings, like those ones that came with Goldberg, the one that came with Jinder Mahal. Those figures, or those rings specifically, are pretty good on scale. But my favorite ring is this one right here, and I think that's what the ring is all about. The ring is the mainstay of an arena. If you don't have this, man, you're fighting in the parking lot, you're fighting in the backstage, you're fighting somebody somewhere else, right? So this is the mainstay. The ring that I use is off of Wrestling Superstore, and this is not a Mattel ring. I don't like the Mattel rings, like I just stated. Again, the main event rings, I've seen those work, but they're kind of shallow. The figure will be a little bit, so the ring ropes will come like down here at their waist, I think, and this one's like perfect. I think that this one is absolute money. I just noticed, why the hell's my Brock Lesnar all beat up? Why is that there? What is that? The ring that I use is off Wrestling Superstore, and it's based off the Jakks Real Scale ring, which I think is the best ring. Now, there are some cons to this ring. It's not the best ring ever in terms of other maybe playabilities and stuff like that. Like, it's really hard to balance somebody on the turnbuckle anytime you want to put somebody on this or anything like that. It can be done. It's just not very user-friendly, I guess. You're going to have to do some balancing acts and maybe do some tricks to do so. And I know in the main event ring and other rings, you'll be able to post them up there, no problem. I just think the scale is the most important thing for me personally. So that's why I don't use the Ultimate Edition rings and things like that. Even though those do have really good features, I just think they're personally too large for my liking, and they're hard to find a table for. And it will throw off the entire scale of the rest of your arena if you don't take the actions to prevent it. Now, going back to the table itself, again, I put mine on a table because I can sit in a chair and now I can operate. Now, if it's on the floor, you have to be down on the floor, and everybody knows that that is cause for back issues. Anybody that's feted before or done figure photography on the floor, you guys will know all about that. But let's go back to the table. This table itself is custom made, and it is 4 feet wide and 8 feet long, which is very large. That is a pretty damn big table. That is probably the standard dining room table, or some sort of, family room table or kitchen table. Nah, I don't know about kitchen table, but you know what I mean. That's sort of pretty much what it is. There is a custom built table, and it is on these legs over here, so it's supported there, and it's got this shelf built into it, which you don't need necessarily, but that is the size of the table. I get a lot of people asking me about the size of the table. It is 4 feet wide, 8 feet long. So getting into what I use, after you have your table, you got to lay some foundation, because if your table's gray or your table's black or your table is a certain color that you don't mind, well, I guess you don't have to do this step, but I buy these thin poster boards from Hobby Lobby, and they just look like a realistic, and don't get me wrong, they get dirty and they get dust on them and debris on them all the time, not gonna lie there, but they do, they work well. I think they work good for padding and outside the ring. Like, you get down right here or you get down right here, it looks like the padding of, the outside. It looks like those wrestling mats. And they do make other things you could use. You could use maybe a black tablecloth, one of those plastic tablecloths. I think Ringside Collectibles even has one you can buy on their website. You can use code MD Toys to save yourselves 10%. That's another option for you. So that's what I use for the floor, and I just bought a bunch of them and stacked them on top of each other. And that's the main lay that you want to put on first. You want to lay that down first, because everything is going to go on top of that. Now, as far as the crowd is concerned, I'll start you off with the barricade. This is the Ringside Collectibles exclusive barricade set, and this set you can find, I don't know if it's in stock over there right now, but you could probably get it on eBay. I've seen people use VHS tapes. I've seen people use things all the time, but it really adds an authentic look to it. And you could also buy the guardrail set. I know that's also a thing that you can do. but I have mine kind of spaced out all over the place. But it works pretty good. I think it works good for a barricade set. And as far as your crowd is concerned, I have added different levels to it, and I'll start off with the main figures in the front, and then we'll get into the background. So all of these figures that you see right here are just a conglomeration of different figures I've purchased, or I've gotten at the thrift store, or I've gotten in random lots on eBay, and I break them down. I try not to make them look like they're official characters. If there's a character in the crowd that can be seen, I usually don't make the front row guys people that are in the Fed, right? So that's usually what I try to do to kind of create the illusion, but it doesn't really matter that much. But it's just a bunch of Mattel basics. It's a bunch of extra figures that I have laying around. Put some parts together, put some cloth goods from other figures or rubber cloth. I usually use rubber goods. I've been collecting long enough that I've collected enough cloth goods to use. But then when you get up here and you look in the crowd, you'll just see all kinds of different crazy characters and things like that, and it creates a crowd effect. I mean, that's basically what it is. You keep adding it up over the years, and then you're left with, you know, a deeper crowd or what have you. Now, beyond the front level or the foreground level of crowd, if you get into the secondary level, this is the Extreme Sets 3.0 set, I think, and I have done a little bit extra to it. I lifted it up to fill in the gap underneath here, and you guys will see that it's kind of taped to the back wall, and I did that to create like an elevation. That way, there would not be a gap back there. And so I had to make some mods. But that is the Extreme Sets 3.0. I think you can still get it over on their website, and you may be able to use code MDT over there to save 15%, I think, is still active over there. But that's what I use for the background. A lot of people use it. I think the 3.0 is the best. It just simply works the best for me personally. I think it's adding the most realism to it, and much better than the first go around or the different iterations of the wrestling or Extreme Sets background that used to exist. As far as the stage is concerned, this is kind of I found this YouTube video years and years ago, and I always wanted to execute it, but I used a computer monitor right here, and then the computer actual, like brains of the operation is behind there. But I took a black cloth thing, or I think it's a ripped up shirt or something, to create that screen or this little backdrop back here. That way, if you're down here, it just looks like a backstage or whatever. I kind of want to fix that. It's not completely correct. But as far as the stage is concerned, I did get this custom 3D printed MDT ramp for the ramp, which I think looks really awesome. And then I just took some old Jakks play sets. The rest of these steel beams and stuff are just random play sets or things I found on eBay or Amazon, I think. These are the little 4 troughs you can order, I think. It's these, and you get 4 of them. I just cut them, zip tied them together right there, made some different shapes. I got some old Money in the Bank play sets, Jakks play sets, and then put them all together and kind of created this conglomeration. And then these are just water speakers, and so when the music plays for the entrance, it will pop up. And I got that idea off a really old, like 12-year-old video off YouTube that I thought was cool. I think we did a video on it on the channel like a few months back. And it really showcased like all the capabilities of it. It's really cool. It's really awesome. I think it's amazing. And so I wanted to add it to the arena here. And then I just used some coasters and some different stuff I found at Lowe's. And, it's just all about creativity, really, man. You want to get in there. You may have to, think outside the box. This is a random elimination chamber playset piece, and then it just creates this, unique-looking stage. I wanted to have that pay-per-view Ruthless Aggression style vibe, and that's what I kind of went with the stage. Now, again, this is an active monitor. It's actually a really old computer, though. I need to get rid of it and get a new computer, or get a new computer and then put my old computer over here, because this one is very, very slow. It's very hard to operate. It's just, I don't know, it's not the most optimal thing. I really wish that I could rig this up to be a lot more optimal. But outside of that, that is the stage portion, the floor portion. You have the crowd, you have the ring. This is obviously just some extra bonuses. The Timekeepers area, that's just a, Mattel spinny chair. You have an AEW table, Mattel bell. I used some extra little barricades that came with Mattel, and then we have the ringside exclusive announcer set, and then I got some custom decals for the announce table. And then these pink ring ropes, these were ringside exclusive back in the day. Those are very old nowadays. I think I got these 7 or 8 years ago. And then we do have the custom ring skirt that is a Google website. If you go to the Google website, you can order one of those. They're pretty cheap, I do believe, and he can put the graphics on there. He's a really, really, really good customizer, and he can hook you up there. His name's Nate, I do believe. Very talented there. But then you want to get into the lighting. So this entire system right here is set up. And I just I really don't even know how this came together, but I wanted this framework above. Me and my dad had this idea to create a framework above. And I can't remember who gave me the idea to use a hula hoop right here. I cannot remember who it was, so I do apologize for that. But then I just made this kind of custom lighting rig and kind of screwed it into these bars going over the top. And then we have the lights over the top, and they run down. There's a little chalice connected to the ceiling, and then we just rigged up lights, all around the arena. So then you can, turn them on, and it creates, we got all these switches around here. So just a switch there, got a switch down here, got a switch here, and then that one is for like custom lighting. But then you come over here, and we'll have to cut these lights on right here. And it's just a little light switch here. And we have a little ring light right there that we can brighten up. And then there is the full thing lit up for the most part. And then we even have these lights over here, but they really don't do much. I need to change something up, but it's not bad lighting in here. After all those lights, damn, it better have some good lighting if you lit up all those lights. But that's what it looks like in the ring now. I'm still not fully happy with it. I don't know really what else I could do. I could probably add a few more lights. I feel like it may be a little dark here. You just want that full arena effect. You want it to be fully operational. You want it to be easy and not have to go through a bunch of stuff. But a few light turn switches, and then bam, it's pretty much ready to go. And I'm pretty satisfied with it, but it's not perfect. And this isn't even the final form of the arena. I do have more plans for it. I just have not gotten that done yet. So here's a full pan of the arena when you have all of the lights on here. You got the stage there, and you back up, and then you have the rest of it going on here. You got the aerial shot there. You can come down, and then one really cool thing about it is if you cut on, I do have these custom lights up here that you can cut on, and this will create a whole nother deal. Now I gotta get everything set up. So this is I believe this is okay, I gotta plug it in. So I have this little piece right here that I can plug in, but now we have to cut all these lights off so you can see what's going on. And so see, now you have the different lighting effects and arena effects if somebody's music was playing or whatever, and you have the strobe light on the stage there. And then we even have these lights over the top here that you can turn on. Oh, did I leave that on? What a bum. I left those on. Now I got to replace them. What a clown. Idiot. Then we even have the light above the ring here that flashes, and then you can change the colors. I can't change the colors now because I'm using my phone currently, but on my phone I can change the colors and stuff like that, but we can switch that off. And then, boom, there you go. But you can have different arena effects and things like that. You can have a rave in the arena if you want to. But that's one of the cooler parts of it, I think, is having these different options for you to be able to, just, switch around, play with different entrances, lighting, all those different things. But the thing is if you come behind here where the extreme sets are in front of, I just took some pieces of wood here and screwed those into the base of the table and then duct taped the extreme sets to it. And then have these, these sticks running up. I want to paint all this black, but then you see you screwed it in across the top, and then it runs across. And it's basically became a frame for the table itself so that you can rig the lights from above. And then I don't have to rely on the natural lighting of the room or anything like that. I have fully operational lamps all around or whatever, and I can change the lighting depending on the mood or whatever's needed for that said project. But that is pretty much everything about the arena I think you need to know. I guess one thing we can touch on is I started painting it black right there a little bit. Is I want to paint all of this wood across this shelf right here. So this is an operational shelf. You'll see my AEW Supreme Men on Card collection is up there. I do want to move those. I've touched on this multiple times. And I hate that above the arena right there is completely blank because I would really, ideally, I'd like to have figures up there or something displayed right there, but you can't see it anyway because this is kind of in the way. And if I put figures up there, how would I ever access them? I mean, again, this is 4 feet away from the wall, and I am standing at the edge right here. I'm standing at the edge, and if I were to reach out, I can't even if I lean up in here, it would be impossible to grab those figures. So the thing that I'm thinking about is I want to move all of these figures somewhere else. I want to paint this shelf black, and then I want to add more crowd members. That was the whole original idea, is I was going to throw another Extreme Sets background on the top right here, so it would go across the back on top of that shelf, and then other figures like this would be up here, and it would create an upper level to the arena. So then if you got down right here and you aimed up, all that up there would be extra crowd members, and that would underneath here would be black, and it would blend in and be like a whole nother seating section for the arena. So that was the whole plan behind all of that, but we haven't done that yet. It's just a work in progress, little by little, got to get it going. But that is the full WWE action figure tour and how I built it. Now, as far as the details of screwing this in here and buying these parts and everything like that, we had to take multiple trips to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever to try to figure out exactly how it's done. But, I mean, it's just a table put together, and it's 4 by 8 or 4 feet wide, 8 feet long, and then you have all the pieces, and you just slowly build it up, have a creative vision, and that's what we have. These little support beams are just wood, and then I put some little, whatever the hell it's called over the top of it, the scaffolding or whatever it's called over the top, and that's what we have there, man. But I think that is pretty much going to wrap up this WWE Action Figure Arena tour and how-to, I guess. And I wish I had a video on me building it from scratch, but it was a project that took months at a time to try and figure out once we moved in this house. But at the end of the day, man, that is pretty much going to wrap the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to know all of your thoughts down below. And, let me know what you think of the arena. If you have any questions down below, I'll do my best to answer them. But a huge shout out to our Patreon members, man. Appreciate you fellas. Thank you guys so very much for everything. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much for the continued support as always. But I'm getting out, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. Leave me your thoughts on the arena down below, and I'll see you guys next time.